those of you that don't know me, I'm Andrew Volpe. I'm the best man, the little brother, and I like to consider myself the best friend. If it's all right with you, Mike. First, I'd like to start with the obvious. Nicole, you look absolutely gorgeous. I never saw the look on Billy's face like the one that I did when you were walking down the aisle. I'd also like to thank Dean and Sherry, as well as my parents, Bill and Canice, for raising such wonderful people and giving us all the opportunity to be here today. So a little bit about my relationship with Billy. We met in the fall of '89. From the time we were toddlers, Billy and I were not only brothers, but we were best friends. At the same time, in almost everything we did, we were very competitive. Mostly when it came to the really important stuff, like if we were eating cereal, who could finish the fastest, or when going up the stairs, who could make it to the top first. Being the younger sibling, in almost all that we competed in, I usually lost, especially when food was involved. But there was one activity where I almost always came out on top, and that was one-on-one backyard football at my grandma Volpe's house. Despite the fact that I was 3 times smaller than Billy, my quickness and my agility almost always paved the way to victory. But don't give me all the credit. My offensive coordinator and quarterback had a lot to do with my success. And for that, I say thank you, Michael. Ever since those days when we were kids to our high school years to moving to Florida 11 years ago, all the way until today, Billy and I have seen a lot of changes in our lives. But through it all, we have always had each other's backs. No matter what life brings, I always know that Billy will be there beside me. And I know he feels the same. There's many stories I could tell you where Billy has had my back, or vice versa. But instead, I'm going to tell you a story where all that went out the window. And I definitely don't need my phone for this one because I've said this story 1,000 times. 2014, me and Billy lived together, and it was our first weekend in our apartment. And we were on our way to breakfast to meet my dad at Very Fresh Cafe. Billy was driving, and I was the passenger. And there was a guy tailgating us, riding really close behind us. And Billy's like, he was like, I'm going to give this guy a piece of my mind. And he pulls up next to us at this light. I said, Billy, just chill, relax, it's all right. He's like, no, this guy's going to get it. So we pull up to the light, and Billy already has the window down, mean mugging. And the guy pulls up, and he must have looked and realized Billy's intent. And he rolled his window down, and that's when we both realized he could have played linebacker for the '79 Steelers. This guy was like 6'5", 250 at least. And he looked at Billy and he goes, "What's going on?" And big bad Billy looked at him and said, "Not much." That may have been the only time where I would not have had Billy's back. In all seriousness, I could say a lot of nice things about Billy, but the number one thing that came to my mind when I was preparing this speech is how proud I am of him. The growth that I've seen in Billy is really nothing short of amazing. 10 years ago, Billy was cutting grass and doing maintenance, to now becoming one of the top real estate agents at his firm. Billy has come so far, not only professionally, but physically, mentally, and spiritually. And for those who are really close to Billy in these past 5 years, you would know that Billy's growth really escalated when he met Nicole.
Yeah. Amen.
This is the part earlier where, gets teary a little bit. Billy and Nicole are not only now husband and wife, as well as best friends, but they are also a team. They are, yes, the Volpetino team professionally, but they're also a team in life. I see firsthand that every decision they make are not just for their own good, but for the good of one another. Nicole, I cannot thank you enough for the role. You guys want to clap one more time? All right. Nicole, I can't thank you enough for the role that you play in Billy's life. I cannot thank God enough, and I couldn't have imagined God would bless me with such a humble, generous, and wonderful sister-in-law. I can truly say that I love you, and I'm beyond blessed to call you a sister and a friend. I'm so happy for what the future has in store for the both of you, because I know together you both can accomplish all goals and overcome any obstacles that may come your way. Before I make a toast, I want you guys to do something here. Nicole, I know we got these shrimps. You guys have been to Evergreen Buffet in Washington, you know what I'm talking about. Nicole, can you please place your left ring hand flat on the table? And Billy, take your right hand and put it on top of Nicole's. Now, I want you both to look at that, especially you, Billy, because this symbolizes something very, very important. Billy, this is the last time you will have ever had the upper hand. So now, for the toast. Billy, you guys want to lift your glasses, maybe? This is my first time doing this. To a happy and healthy marriage, may God's favor continue to bless the both of you. To Mr. and Mrs. William Volpe. Cheers. I got water. Cheers. Now, and last thing, can somebody bring me over one of those White Claws?
White Claw.
Awesome. Let's give him a big round of applause. Well, we're now going to have the blessing for the food by Mr. William Volpe.